You know what it is, your boy out here with the pug shirt, fully equipped. Yeah, dude, the new camera angle's fresh as fuck. That's what I wanted to do initially, but my shit was not ideal for it. But now it is. So now I can give a more personal feeling when I look at the chat, because it's right below my camera. So it'll look like I'm staring at people as I'm talking to them. It'll be great. I also learned that there's a hella zoom on my camera. Hold one moment, please. Play capture? No. Look for camera, but I am not seeing it because I'm blind. Video capture device. There we go. Yeah, dude, check this shit out. You can go from this, just hit him with the... Ah, fuck, that messed with every setting on my camera I had. Oops. Okay, go ahead, clip it. It's yours, my friend. Hit him with a 135 real quick. Alright, enough dilly-dallying, let's get this shit over with. Oh yeah, so we have Riley the Regal Pup, and you have PB aka Squidward. Meanwhile, in the comfort of your tavern room... Damn, that is pretty comfy. It took a few hours before the tavern came to a lull. I'm assuming it was last call or something like that. I heard many doors open and close as things got quiet, including the rooms of Endymion and Conrad. Ooh. Were they going to sleep? Or were they going to listen in case something happens? I'm starting a little paranoid that I'm being watched. Oh well, there's only a hole in the wall. It's not like I was doing anything illicit. I made myself comfortable in the luxurious bed, only to find... I'm not sure if I dozed off or fell asleep, but before I knew it, I was jerked into coherence. God damn it. You know, I was fighting the urge just to make like a low-hanging fruit J.O. joke, but if you're just gonna make it for me, alright. There was a loud knocking at my door. I took crooked steps towards it, utterly groggy. I can't walk straight. I rubbed my eyes in an effort to make my vision clearer, as you don't do that for any other reason. The knocking starts to get more vigorous in nature. I can hear someone panting on the other side. It's two dogs fucking. It sounds like someone's panicking. This kicks me into high gear and I rush to the door. I run into it. Pow! But when I open it, I'm not sure who it is. Oh, thank goodness you opened the door. Another moment longer and... He pants heavily as he closes the door behind him. He locks it as well. That's a little concerning. Sorry, I promise you no harm. I can explain. Please listen. He presses his back against the door. I'm assuming so nobody can open it with him in place. He holds up a piece of torn fabric. It's stained with blood. What? My master went insane. He attacked me and tried to kill me. I ran to the nearest place I could find, which was upstairs and the third door on the left. I opened my mouth to call for Endymion and Conrad. He gasped and stepped forward, urging me to keep quiet. He says he doesn't want anyone to know where he is. He steps towards the middle of the room. He places his hands on his head in confusion. Why? Why would he do this to me? Claire was always a kind master. Claire? That's the one Endymion and Conrad wanted to oust. He attacked his servant? Why would he do that? Suddenly I realized the urgency of the situation. If anything, this man's testimony could be invaluable. I ask him his name and give him mine in turn. Of course. My name is Riley. Thank you for your shelter, Pants. I nod. I start to feel uncomfortable near the door. I move away and place him between the door and myself. I stand against the wall, my back pressed against it. Who the fuck is this? It's Riley. Have you not been paying attention to the lore? I won't be here long, I promise. I just need to gather my bearings. It was a shocking thing, you know? It's all just thrown me for a loop. You never expect these things to happen. It's so sudden, and I'm just scared. I noticed his demeanor suddenly change, almost like his panic vanished in an instant. He seemed to calm down rather quickly. He placed the bloodied fabric on the floor. Why in the world would he do that? I decided to ask him what he's doing. Sorry. It's just making me relive this. I gotta get it out of my hands for good. Or else he'll keep dwelling on what happened. He stands up and looks me in the eye. And it needs to look like you struggled. You'll have to forgive me for this. Stab! And in that moment, in an instant, he is upon me. He pins me against the wall, squeezing my throat with his fingers. I start to panic and try kicking him off, but I can't. He uses his own feet to keep mine in place. Shh! I try to pry his hands off my throat, but he's strong. I start to lose my strength, my vision fading. I slid down the wall as my body becomes weak. He growls fiercely as I start to lose consciousness. The last thing I notice is the look on his face. He displays pure regret, like he didn't want this. In the last few moments I hope that someone rescues me, but it doesn't happen, and my vision fades for good. Sleep well, Savior. That's fucking bad end? Am I just dead? Well then, Rayo. Things are becoming more complicated. Many men aspire to usurp my throne. And this time, they're getting close. Closer than I've ever experienced. It's almost like a game to them. But it's trivial in the face of our goal. It's fun to watch, though. It seems that Riley suspects you. But his theories are incredibly wrong. Indeed. Our fault for being secret. People think that I have something to hide, or that I bear some sort of ill intent. Perhaps I should have been open about this. It would have been more noble, at least. Noble? Yeah, but not fun. I like the idea of keeping it secret. Rayo, my goal here is not to have fun. I seek a very important change. But my end of the bargain still stands. Yes. Earth is yours to play with. I have no need for it anymore. Not while Pants is present on Terra. Well, about that. I'll be sending Pants back to Earth. At least, for the time being. Why? They have to keep up appearances. I can't just rob them from their home. We have to juggle here, Velasquez. They have 2 lives to live now, but don't worry, I'll bring them back. I just have a plan of my own to enact. Like letting him die. A plan of your own? Indeed. Life on Tokyo is going to change. Things were just too boring before. I decided to shake it up a little bit. I see. You'll find out what I mean soon enough. Things will get harder for Pants. but it will help them realize their role. Being the savior isn't all fun and games. Sometimes you get choked out by a dog. The great danger will soon befall Tokyo, and it will claim the lives of many more. End scene. Where am I? What's going on? I remember getting choked unconscious by Riley, but then why am I still conscious? I feel awake and disconnected. It's like my spirit left my body or something. I'm still fully aware of my surroundings, or at least the lack thereof. Even so, I feel disconnected from my body. Is this death? Rip. I feel a large rush of speed. I am speed. Much like the first time I was sent to Terra. This time I'm able to bear the pain more easily. And as it subsides, I hit solid ground with a thud. Kaboom. First, my sense of touch returns. I'm touching my pee-pee. I'm face down on some sort of carpet. Wait, the hotel room carpet. When he dies, he's just going to bounce between worlds, probably. Back on Earth? As my sense of sight returns, this fact is confirmed. I'm now 80 years old. Oh, God. My instincts want me to rise to my feet. But as it stands, that's currently impossible. Ha ha ha! Let's get it because I'm laying on the floor. I try to move my hands, but they're frozen stiff. And I mean that in a literal sense. I'm so cold. They should have put me under a blanket, ooh-woo. How long was I lying here? Did the hotel not have any heating? I mean, come on. After strenuous effort, I'm able to move one finger. Shout out, Kill Bill. And then soon after, I can move another, then another. I focus on this till I can move all my digits. Literally Kill Bill. Once it's through, I have control of my hands. I use them to push myself up, and soon after, I can move my feet as well. I bring myself to a standing position. What an original concept in this? Yeah, I'm fucking baffled. How dare they? If every word of this isn't original, I'm going to fucking scream. That was odd, almost like I had to defrost. You think Quentin Tarantino's a weeb? Yes. I scan the room and notice Kill is lying on the floor, dead. We're in the same spots as we were before. Looks like we hadn't moved since the news report came on. But sun enters the room through a nearby window. That was 8 hours? It's not night anymore. Day is broken. No shit! I rush over to his body and kneel down beside him. I give him gentle shakes while I call out his name. Bitch. Bitch. Wake up! He's frozen stiff, just like I was before. He's cold to the touch, like a lifeless corpse. It's like he's dead! I start to panic and shake him even more, my voice becoming more desperate as I call out to him. Wake up! Ah! After a few straight minutes of this, he starts to move. He follows the same procedure as myself. First the fingers, then the hands, and so on. Moments pass and he stands up in confusion. Huh? What happened? Did I just... He rubs his eyes like he's waking up after a long sleep. Dude, the writing in this game is just fucking magical. He lets out a yawn and a stretch, utterly confused. My body is so stiff. Mine as well, but I brush that fact aside. Sorry. There are more important matters at hand. I ask Kill what he remembers about last night. Clace? I must have passed out in shock. I think it's all a blur. Please tell me that it isn't true. If he died, then what happens to us? I don't want to go home, Pants. I like weeb shit. I must have been dreaming. Please tell me I was dreaming! Do it! He grips my shoulder and shakes me a few times. It's like he's demanding something he knows isn't real. Where's my daddy bear leather daddy? But I can't let him live in some sort of fantasy world, haha, like Terra. He has to know the truth of what happened. And so I let him know that it was true. Claes passed away last night. He was murdered.
No! I want him to come back! You have to bring him back!
I'm not sure how to respond to him. It's very clear that he's in denial. But we're not in Egypt! He starts to pace around the room talking to himself.
I drink so many fucking energy drinks and he just goes and fucking dies on me? How the hell does this happen to me?
Soon enough, it seems like he's forgotten that I'm here. That's not the only thing he's forgotten. I realize that Claes' death is all he remembers. He doesn't mention Tara, like it never happened. Why would he forget if I remembered?
Damn it, Claes! Fucking asshole! All you had to do was live for like 3 months. Now you go home and then you could die.
Does that have to do with me being the savior? If so, then why was he even brought at all? Good question. It's very confusing, and I skipped the arc this time. I have no idea why, and I'm filled with questions. I thought I was needed in Tara to save it. I can't believe it, but I want to see that man again. No one's ever choked me like that. How can I go meet the king if I'm stuck on Earth? What would Endymion and Conrad be thinking right now? Especially if Killa is right about the time difference. I have to get back there as soon as possible. There's no telling what could happen in my absence. I could have sworn they said it was impossible to leave, that Tara was a one-way street, and I'd be stuck. Ring-a-ling-a-ling. Moshi moshi des. Before I can get too deep into thought, my phone rings. I pick it up instinctively and greet the other end. Moshi moshi, pants des. Mashi mashi, bishi bashi des. The ring seems to shoot Killa back into reality.
Turn off that fucking phone!
I know he zones out, but that was something else.
Hey there, Pants. Jade here. Just wanted to say I'm picking you two up. I'll be there in about 5 minutes. Oh, and don't turn on the TV, alright? I'm not sure if you heard the news or not, but the media's making a lot of stuff up. Better wait and talk to Singe in person. He'll be making his public statement shortly. He just wants to wait for your arrival. Anyway, that's all. See you soon.
She abruptly ends the call. Didn't picture the type to talk and drive. Things must be getting hectic on her end. I wonder if things would get hectic for us as well.
No way.
Things were starting to get complicated and unclear, just like everything else in this story. I started to wonder what fate awaited Killa and myself.
Hey, who was that?
Before I can answer, my phone rings again. I pull it out of my pocket. This time it's a text. It has the same ringtone though, but the content of it sends shivers down my spine. Why are they saying this has to be some kind of prank?
Well,
I let Killa know it was just Jade. I tell him she'll be here to pick us up shortly. Singe will be telling us the full story. Actually, we should already be downstairs.
alright. See you down there then.
He runs off as fast as he can. He trips. I can tell that he's in denial. He's falling down the stairs. He clearly doesn't want to talk about this. He can't. His jaw is broken.
Oh, watching us.
That's gonna be that guy's voice. I don't know who it is, but whoever sent that text is gonna get the fucking...
Oh, mother. I'm going to protect you.
The straight Game Grumps ripoff voice. But after all that's happened, I can't blame him. Before leaving, I close all the blinds. Don't want anyone watching me J.O. in the shower. I guess that text message got the better of me. Even if it was a joke, it would leave anyone scared. What if they saw how small my peepee was? I leave the room with paranoia eating away at me. But I wish I was getting choked on Tara. I make my way down to the lobby. As soon as I get there, I see Killa exiting the hotel. He seems to be in a hurry, scurrying away. He can run, but of course he can't run forever. I start to follow, but quickly bump into someone. I take a step back and apologize to the woman. But then I realize I've seen them before. Under the exact same circumstances as well. Oh, this bitch. Hey, Nasarigal, thanks for the follow.
You?
I don't remember what the voice I did for this person before is, but this is what's gonna be now.
Oh, my apologies. That was rude. I was just surprised to see you here. Tokyo must be smaller than we think.
It's gonna fall into something eventually, I apologize.
So you're staying here too?
I'm going southern. I nod, remember that Rook said it was expensive. If she could afford it, just who is this woman?
You can call me Max. It's short for Maxine, but don't say that. It sounds strange in this day and age. I'm here for business. And let's just say my company isn't cheap. Only the best when it comes to travel.
The way that she says this implies that she owns a company. That's definitely impressive, as she seems very young.
I see that you're on your way out. I'll let you get on with your busy day.
She an Instagram model? No, she's an influencer, dude.
I don't mean to hold you up or anything. Perhaps if I see you again, we'll talk. It would be nice to get more acquainted. Not just anyone can stay in this hotel. I'm sure you have a story to tell. I have all the time in the world.
She walks away from me with a smile. As she does so, she plays with the gear on her necklace. I feel like I've seen that before. It stands out to me. I saw her before. It stands out to me because I saw her before. I change my course back to the exit, but before I can get there, my phone rings again. Wow, I'm a genius. It's a text message, as the tone doesn't repeat. It didn't repeat it when I caught a call either, so I don't know. I'm extremely hesitant given what happened before, but unlike Killa, it wasn't in my nature to avoid things.
This time the universe will not sway in your favor, but mine.
Doesn't make any sense. I can't believe it. Why does he sound like a little child? It seems to be written with the knowledge of my power. Bless you. But I've never told anyone about my situation. Does someone on Earth know what's going on with me? I can no longer hope that this is a joke. There is more at play than I know. Is Velasquez really going to be this petty? Yeah, he's interdimensionally petty. Dude looks like fucking Xerxes. I exit the hotel. I meet up with Killa, and we enter the limo together. I do all this knowing that I'm being watched, and that is much harder than it sounds. Why are they like... Oh hell yeah, the stages of grief. New character alert on the left. As soon as we enter, we take our seats. The first thing I notice is that we are not alone. He's the new bodyguard. The one who's replacing the dude who died, or the dude who ran away. So as soon as we enter, we take our seats. The first thing I notice is that we are not alone. Rather than the front, Inumi sits in the back. Oh boy, Inumi. But he's not alone. He's staying with someone new. Since I never met them, I introduced myself. I really don't want to think of like 5 new voices every fucking stream. But like my range isn't that great. Hold please. Alright, how about Boston? I think I can do a Boston. He looks like a Bostonian to me. Because everyone in Boston's actually just a low-key weeb.
Hey, I know who you are.
Oh. I contemplate whether or not to offer him my hand in marriage, but at first glance he doesn't seem like the type to marry me. As I've learned, not everybody's into handshaking.
You're lucky too. That requires a lot of dedication, you know.
but that is the trait I admire most. I don't know what fucking voice I'm doing at this point. He gives a wide smile to Killa and myself. He offers me his hand. I guess I was wrong. I accept, and he leaves it with a firm grip. Killa, however, does not and remains seated. I let this man know that Killa is in shock, especially after the events that happened last night. I understand. It must not be easy. By the way, you can call me Acheron. I was hired to ensure your safety. I'm told that you'll learn more shortly. I'll refrain from giving anything away. Leaking information would be irresponsible. He reclines back in his chair with a relieving sigh. Ooh! So we have someone to protect us now? That's awesome! Suddenly I'm not as worried about those text messages. He looks equipped enough to take on any trouble. He has a phone and pepper spray. But I still feel sorry for Killa. He's acting odd. That fucking Claes. I swear to God! I have to go home to Mom. She's gonna make me do so much laundry. I'm sure that given time he'd come around. Yeah, that's definitely Charon. This is the sneeze brother of Charon. Acheron. The sneezer on the river Styx. At this point, Jade starts the limo up and drives away. I'm not sure how long it'll be until we arrive. Imagine just putting an A in front of a character and changing it. This joke brought to you by Consonant Gang. I need to sort this all out in my head. It's crazy. So, from what I can tell, I'm now being watched, but this person seems to know about my power as well. That perplexes me, because I thought it was a secret. In fact, I've never told a single soul about the Ark. Maybe I wasn't the only one who's been to the Ark. There is more to this, and I just needed to know. Oh, I just need it. Hopefully I would learn more as the day progressed. And with Acheron to protect us, I'd be safe. No, you wouldn't. I take a deep breath and close my eyes. At this point, Anumi breaks the silence. God damn it. Hey, I have a question, Pants. What's 75 multiplied by 110? A woman asked me earlier. I didn't know. The fuck? Whoa, I was not in a state good for mental math, and no matter what, that was just an odd thing to ask. Maybe he found the silence in the limo a little awkward. It's 8,250, Anumi. Really? Yeah, absolutely. I'm a genius. That's so cool. You're smart. My big brother used to help me with this, but he's dead now. But he was just so busy all the time. That's quite nice of your brother. I'd like to meet him, Anumi. It was Claes. I'm sorry. My apologies. Oh, I have an idea. I don't know what I'm fucking doing with this voice. I really don't. I'm just throwing caution to the wind at this point. You could take over and teach me math. The teachers always said it was important. It could save your life, they told me. I suppose that's true. We'll have to see what happens. There's a lot on the table now. I'm looking forward to Sinja's speech. The silence will be broken by an official. He's the most qualified to speak about this. Sinja's really smart. He knows what to say to make people happy. Maybe he can make me help make me happy again. Yeah, it's never easy losing a loved one. But I'll make sure that it doesn't happen again. Not while you're by my side, Anumi. He reaches over and rubs the top of Anumi's head. That's fucking adorable. His hair gets messed up, but he enjoys it. That's not adorable. A wide smile appears on his previously sad face.
Okay, now that makes me happy. I was scared for all of our safety. I was worried we'd be next or something. Not on my watch, okay? I've only said it 4 fucking times. Everybody will be fine. He smiles again like everything is completely fine. Everything's fine. Every fucking thing is fine, dude. Ugh, Christ. Atron was really nice through his cold exterior and always saying everything's gonna be fine. I feel bad for judging him at first glance earlier, and Anumi seemed like he'd be fun to hang around with. Before we could continue talking, the limo stops. How does Anumi seem fun? Like, all we know about him is that he asks people random math questions, has a dead brother, and likes getting his head scratched in a potentially sexual manner. And I know, not everything has to be sexual, but look at his fucking outfit. Like, dude dresses like a horny 14-year-old at Hot Topic. Anumi is like 10, he's 70 then. Easy maths. That wasn't as long of a ride as I expected. Is that a sub emote? Not a circle? Anumi gets up to leave, but Atron quickly interjects. Not now, Anumi. Please let me go first. It would be rude to expose you to danger. I'll make sure the coast is clear, okay? Oh, no shit, huh? I didn't even know he streamed, so that's neat. Wow, what a gentleman. He's definitely good at what he does. As he said, he leaves the limo first. A few moments pass and he waves us all out. I'm glad the coast is clear. The coast is clear, danger-free. It was time to get some answers and meet Singe. Anumi scoots out first, and after that, I follow behind. Killa seems like he's still lost in his own little world, but eventually he follows, as expressionless as a ghost. Outside, we're greeted to the site of our home base. I guess it's where we spend most of our time. It looks beautiful, with a complex modern design. Would you like to save your game? I would. Alright, rolling for... I hit the wrong key. That's what I'm rolling for. Damn, no true ending flags. Oopsie. But as soon as we take some steps, the media is upon us. They're countless in their numbers. It appears as if they're trying to block our entry. They hold their microphones out, wanting answers. It's the Lucky Two! Hey, that's the news report from last night. Here's one to report on the death of Claes. Contest winners, we need to talk! There's some allegations going around. They say this is just for publicity. Fans, do not engage the press. There weren't any decisions in that last bit, were there? No, there weren't, but I don't know. I don't know how the flags work in this game. Maybe it's just like beginning down a certain path will be the one that like triggers it or something, but it's probably all decision based. They'll try to scare you into talking, but legally they can't get in our way. Just keep walking and they'll move. That is, if they want to keep their careers. He glares at Fukumoto as he says those last few words. Perhaps I'll ask again later. He slowly backs away and blends into the crowd. Atron must have intimidated him into submission, but it was for the best, and I'm thankful. I wouldn't have known what to do on my own. Follow me and do not engage. Singe will tell you the truth of things, and you don't want to say something stupid.
I nod as I find his console invaluable. We keep walking, and I make sure Killa is in tow. Inumi is following us as well, completely unfazed. He must be used to the limelight by now. Being Clayset's brother, he'd get lots of attention. I look back at the limo. A large crowd blocks Jade's attempts to leave. I feel sorry for her. She's stuck with the press. Not used to all these eyes on you, eh? Not at all. As soon as he says that, it hits me. And a sense of anxiety starts to rise within me. If I was being watched, it could be anybody here, even someone watching on TV at home. I ask him if we can walk faster, but then I get another text message. I pull out my phone with extreme apprehension. I'm unable to display a calm composure. I'm sure I could play it off as fear of the crowd. Atron has no idea what's happening on my end. Worried, aren't you? Good. Okay, now it's very clear that I'm being followed. And they're close enough to see my worries as well. I scan my surroundings, but everyone is watching me. They certainly picked the perfect time to watch. I'd never be able to tell who it was in this crowd. I start to panic. Oh, hey. Sorry, I just got an email from isthereanydeal.com. Very important. I start to panic and cling even closer to Atron. I give him a gentle nudge, pushing him to move faster. And it's not that hot of a video game deal, it's just God Eater 3 for $40. He seems to take my signal and thankfully obeys. It isn't much longer until we get inside. We're promptly greeted with the illusion of safety. I take a large breath as soon as we get inside. For some reason it feels like I'm safe. It's odd how one door can make such a difference. Inumi scurries away as soon as we get inside. The windows are dimmed so it's not too bright. But this bodes well for someone in my situation. If I was being watched, they couldn't do it now. I stand relieved in the lobby with Atron and Killa. Killa's there, just unnotable right now. You did a good job out there. You were overwhelmed, but that's normal. You handled yourselves admirably.
Thanks.
There you go. If only he knew why I was actually worried. Actually, perhaps I should tell him. He'd be the last person I wanted to hide this from. And he'd probably know exactly how to respond. I'll wait until I can talk to him in private. I want you two to wait right here. I'll go find out where Singe is. Do me a favor and don't wander. He walks towards what I assume is the reception desk. I turn to Killa and ask him if he's okay. So far it's been impossible to get a read on him. I know he's prone to zoning out, but this is unreal.
I'm good. Just overwhelmed. I mean, what are the odds of this? Nothing has gone our way since we got here. We'll get involved with the media now. They'll probably even dig up our past. I'm not really cool with that, Pants. Luck is definitely not on our side.
He's right. This was supposed to be luxurious. Our every dream was expected to become reality. Saying that this hasn't happened is an understatement. It went south in almost every way imaginable. I tell Killa that everything will be okay. Although, I don't know who I'm trying to convince. There's a lot more on my plate with the fate of Terra. So I simply say we should wait until we talk to Singe.
Yeah, you're right.
He turns away and starts to inspect the lobby. It's rather massive, and it doesn't look really foreign at all. In fact, it makes me feel at home. Very modern. It's probably an embassy, dude. I don't stray away at Atron's behest. Instead, I look at the TVs attached to the wall. They're all playing a news report recorded earlier. It must be a story of interest to Tokyo citizens. As a few moments pass, I realize that's true, but it happens to be of great interest to me as well. Hello, Fukumoto here. I've been lucky enough to snag an interview right here on the streets of Akihabara. This is very spontaneous, people. Sorry for any background noise, but I think you'll enjoy our guest. It's Clace. This guy seems to get around. Are there no other news reporters in Japan? She arrived in Tokyo a few weeks ago, but she's been under scrutiny ever since. Well, we're here for the real story. And we'll get it from the woman herself. Everybody, welcome Maxine Armstrong, the CEO of Armstrong Incorporated. It's my pleasure to be here, Fukumoto-san. It's that woman I've run into multiple times. Didn't think she was special enough for her own report. Yeah, dude. Shout out Senator Armstrong. A true villain. For those not in the know, Maxine came. She did. How are you gonna ask who when they literally just introduced her? Please, call me Max. Oh, are you talking about Senator Armstrong? Yeah. He was like Trump before Trump. Very well, Max. You came here from the United States, but nobody knows the real reason why. This has made a lot of people uneasy, given the nature of your business. Chemical explosive weaponry, right? Some would say you deal in war. See? That's actually incorrect, Fukumoto. Armstrong Incorporated desires protection. We sell condoms. We sell an item that is useless on its own. Our products are a security measure, and any other use is the buyer's fault. We provide a means, not anything else. We have a very thorough selection process. Clients are all given mental health exams. We ensure that the client is fit, you see. This is about to become an allegory for gun control. The tabloids always exaggerate things, but you're no stranger to that yourself. I want protection for everyone, not war. Many of our clients are government suits, but celebrities are all within our realm too. If a weapon goes off, it's only to protect. Brother. It's easy to make it sound like I'm bad, but the weapons I sell guarantee safety. It is not my fault if they are misused. Oh, I see. Thanks for explaining. That is an admirable mission statement. Face with cowboy hat. Is the one you're looking for. Your parents would be proud of you, Max. Oh fuck, god damn it. I think you have to actually tab complete it for it to work. But can you understand the unease? Oh yeah, fucking man with guapi mouth, a classic. Some people are scared of your presence, especially since you're keeping secrets. Now Japan is your audience. Do you have anything to say? Something to put us at ease? Unfortunately, I do not. My purpose here is confidential. However, no harm will come to your citizens. My presence here should put you at ease. I offer the most advanced products possible. I could even stop these midnight deaths. I got this thing called the gun. There you have it, folks. Maxine's here to stop the murders. An amazing goal. Bravo, Max. That is not what I said. That's all we have time for today. But rest easy. We're all safe. Armstrong is here for a noble purpose. This is Fukumoto signing off. Whoa, that was pretty heavy. I've heard of Armstrong Incorporated before, but this was my first time hearing about its owner. I never would have thought it was her. I'll have to talk to her about it and see if I see her again. She did express interest in getting to know me better. I see that Atron is on his way back. Hopefully now we get to meet with Singe. I was dying to hear an official statement about this. I await our next move as I walk towards my friends. Hey, thanks for staying put, you two. The conference won't start for a while yet, but we can go and pass some time upstairs. Renting this place must be expensive. Singe's pockets go pretty deep, it seems. Well, anyway, I guess we should go. These people outside are really loud. A headache is the last thing I want. It should be more quiet upstairs. He starts walking towards the stairs. Me and Killa follow him without question. I guess it's almost instinctual. If he was our protection, we'd need to stay close. And that's what we did as we ascended the stairs. We'd leave the frenzy of the media behind us, but unfortunately not for good. It was quieter up here, just like Atron had hoped. He pressed his back against the wall and watches us. Then he scouts around, looking from left to right. He definitely has a good vantage point from there. Kill leaves my side as well, and tries to find a seat. Eventually he situates himself in a nice leather chair. I see a lot of familiar faces around this room. Rook is using his tablet, and Anumi is pacing around. Then I see some not so familiar faces, although I feel like I recognize them from TV. It's almost like everybody important to Clace was here. Maybe they were just as clueless as I was about this. I guess I wasn't the only one who wanted some answers. It isn't long before Rook looks up from his tablet. He notices me and starts walking in my direction. I wonder how he was handling all of this. Hey Vance, nice that you made it. I'm assuming this new guy is Atron? Too bad the last guard just ran off. Ran off? What does he mean by that? Anyway, no beating around the bush. You're here, so you must know the truth. Last night, Clace was murdered. He says it in such an emotionless way. It's hard for me to tell if it has actually even bothered him. Instead of prying, I tell him that I did not know the truth, or I did know the truth. I saw Fukumoto reporting live on TV past midnight. Oh, Fukumoto. I hate that guy. He stretches the truth almost every time. You like Red? You're a communist. I have no idea how he got that job. He twists words, like the tabloids. I'm surprised he works for a real station. That's true. I did see his interview with Max. I let Rook know that he tried to interview me as well. He mentioned that this was all a publicity stunt. Of course he'd mention that. Listen, don't take him seriously. You'll learn that pretty quickly in Tokyo. But the general population loves him. Honestly, I'm not able to see why. He's just a sham, a sensationalist. It was harshly worded, but had some wisdom. Sin's just getting ready. It shouldn't be much longer. Maybe we should get to know the crew. Everybody's still shocked, of course, but some friendship might help them. Uniting is what we need to do right now. Rook turns his head and notices someone approaching. It's a fox with a guitar as he steps with purpose. I guess Rocker is a fine place to start. He's definitely a knowledgeable man. Wait, a compliment from Rook? Wow, it must be my birthday. Don't flatter yourself. Hey, you're the one that said it. He bows to Rook as a gesture of respect, then does the same to me wearing a large smile. Sorry, I'm not one for shaking hands, but with much respect it is my pleasure. I'm Rocker, nice to meet you, Pants. I hesitantly give a bow and introduce myself too. I am Pants. Oh my, a Psyche Ray? Pants, I don't deserve that. Come on, Rocker, not right now. No need to make his day worse. This is very important, though. Pants, that was an incorrect bow. You went far too low just now. A bow like that is for an apology, or for addressing someone to status. And I mean, exceptionally high status. Furthermore, your back was bent as well. You should always try to keep it straight. A crooked bow can be seen as disrespectful. Try to remember this simple fact. To most, a 15-degree bow is fine. Around here, it's called a shaku. It's meant for equals. And I don't mean to rag on you, but I'd hate for you to offend someone. Well, this is my signal to leave. I don't need one of your famous lectures. I've heard way too much about Japan now. Rook gives me a very crooked and low bow, as if to mock the entire lesson Rocker just gave. I'm surprised he didn't scare you away. If I were you, I would have run. He can really be rude without knowing it. He thinks he's joking or something, but it always comes off as crass. He's not the best at social interaction. Regardless of my feelings about Rook, it was true. In fact, Rocker's lesson was refreshing. He did it to legitimately inform me about bows, not to judge or berate me like Rook would always do. I thanked him and tried giving him the bow he explained, 15 degrees and with a straight back. You catch on fast. I like that. We'll get along just fine, Pants. I know we have some spare time before the speech. If you want to hang out, feel free. Of course, there'll be me in Shock too. I wanted to do more Shock voice, honestly. Shock and Rocker were Clace's lead guitarists. Shocker and Rocker. They performed some of the most legendary solos, like Smoke on the Water. I'm starstruck as he walks away, almost in disbelief. I've heard lots of their music, and it was awesome. But here he was, talking to me so casually. If I knew he was at first, I would have panicked. I don't even know the guitarist that I'm so fond of. Well, both Rocker and Rook had a very good point. I had some time to wait before Cinda's speech began. There are so many interesting people up here. I'd love to get to know each and every one of them. Well, I already knew Rook and Killa good enough. Acheron was still a mystery, as when it was a Numi, and Shock and Rocker are quite enticing as well. Hanging out with a Rockstar duo would be awesome. Unfortunately, I couldn't hang out with all of them. I stayed in place, contemplating my next action. Would you like to save your game? Catch on quick. Who should I hang out with to pass time? Alright. Drop a Vohio for Acheron and drop a fucking Feels Weird Man for Shock and Rocker. Alright. I decided it would be best to visit Acheron. Getting to know our protector would be important, and perhaps I can tell him about this text. If anyone knew what to do, it'd be him. He's standing in the same spot as he was before, his head still rotating left to right as if on a motor. He's a fucking sentry, about to shoot someone. I hope I don't interrupt his work or anything. It seems like he's definitely in the zone of watching nothing. Hey there. Something on your mind? You catch me a little off guard. Was it really so obvious? Trust me, it's in my line of work. Reading faces is the most important thing. You look distraught and maybe even sad. However, I realized my question was stupid. Given the situation is obvious. Everyone's thinking about the same thing. Forgive my indiscretion. It won't happen again. His apology is so sincere that I accept it anyway. I have to be honest with you. I feel a little bit out of place here. Everyone in this room must have known Clace, but I don't even really know who he was. I mean, other than that he's a singer. I feel detached. Yet there's one thing I know about grief. It impairs judgment, creates vulnerability. I hope I don't seem rude when I say this, but I think it's better that we never met. I need a level head here, you know what I mean? Mental clarity is extremely important. I have to detect things that others can't. And trust me, there's a lot to detect. There are so many subtle nuances at play. If I missed out on that, it'd cause chaos. People project things without knowing. You can tell when somebody wants to attack. It's easy to sense in their words, or if they're silent, their movement. I can't afford to have my mind clouded. If I was impaired, you wouldn't be safe. In fact, you'd probably be sitting ducks. He seems to know a lot about this stuff. I can sense a lot of wisdom in his words. It feels good to have my life in his hands. With him here, we'd all be kept alive. So what would you like to talk about? We still have some time to spare. Yeah, but perhaps not as much as we think. Singe could call the meeting at any second. If I can only bring up one thing, what should it be? Drop a Monkas for I've been getting these weird texts. Drop a fucking Winky Face for telling me about your past. And drop a PogChamp for so what brings you here. I'm feeling a Monkas myself. Alright. Last time telling me a little bit about himself. Nothing specific, just whatever came to mind. It'd probably be important to bond with him. I get the feeling we'll be seeing a lot of each other. You want to know about me? Well, there's something new. Normally it's the other way around. I get to know the people I'm protecting. They usually don't return the interest. Suffice it to say, it's not interesting. My story is as typical as anyone else's. Isn't that what everyone says? I can tell if he's being humble or playing a part. Most people in my business have sob stories, like they lost someone they loved, that's why they're driven to protect. Some sort of irony or poetic justice. They always get lured into the cause. But I'm the opposite, pretty dull. I just yell people about their parking in Harvard Yard. As I said, I've always been perceptive. But I guess I used to be a little cocky. Got into my fair share of college fights. Kicked their asses. Wasn't long before I got noticed. Someone took note of my brawling skill. I went into the MMA. I got an offer to work at a local bar. The pay was good, so I thought, why not? Turns out that was just a gateway for me. Soon, that one bar became 2 bars. It wasn't long before I was at concerts. That's when the agency found me. An organization dedicated to protect. But for elite clients, not just anybody. Royalty, celebrities, you name it. They asked me to join their ranks. So that's what I've been doing since then. I haven't really had a steady home since. Some of the people I protected were high up. May even prevented a war or two. Not to brag though, it's just work. That was a humble brag if I ever heard one. Still, it's pretty impressive. They definitely have the best in the business here. And that story was definitely interesting. A lot of people say their lives are boring, but it's just something we say because it's us. I mean, nobody really finds their life too special. I guess that's enough chit chat for now. I feel like Singe will be ready any second. Not sure about you, but I want answers. I have way too many questions to ask him. Ugh. I don't trust the media, of course. I need to hear it from the man himself. Clay's tour manager, the leader. I require the truth in order to operate. Acheron.exe -T Answers. I can't act on half-truths and gossip. That's just a recipe for disaster. Make sure you keep that in mind, alright? I can't help unless you're transparent. I'm unable to read minds, unfortunately. I nod since that's a small price to pay. But at the same time, I know I can never be honest. I'll have to hide some information about the Ark. As well as my role in Terra, he'd never believe me. I just have to hope that he can never detect this. It wasn't relevant to anything on Earth after all. And no need to get an innocent bystander involved. Oh, one more thing before we end this. On the note of being fully honest with me, you're not being fully honest with me, you piece of shit. I saw a news report earlier. You mentioned Maxine Armstrong. She's in Tokyo, and this bothers me. You saw it too? That's interesting. I didn't think he'd be the type to care. Armstrong Incorporated is very unethical. In fact, they compete with guards like me. They protect through selling weapons. Think about it this way, Pants. Would you rather have me here, or bombs that you could accidentally detonate? It's too unstable in this day and age. Almost everything can be hacked now. Doing that to weapons would be devastating. The mind, however, cannot be hacked. I mean, it can definitely be manipulated, which is basically hacking at that point, but not the same way and not as fast. So what do you say? Protection by living beings or by weapons? Which would you prefer? Can someone drop a Pog Champ for I prefer the real thing or a Monkus for I trust technology for protection? Alright, rolling in 3, 2, 1.
I prefer the real thing.
Well, I guess I can't blame you. Looks a little uneasy.
What?
That is what the majority of people believe, and why Armstrong is so rich and powerful. But it's only a matter of time, Pants. Their weapons will be used against them, and then the world will need more men like me. Acheron, the greatest street fighter in all of Boston. I'd be honored to answer that call. Well, thanks for the chat, Pants. Not often I get to talk about myself. Clients are rarely interested in my life. They usually only care about my ability. He goes back to what he was doing before, scanning the room with his back to the wall. I guess Tinge would start the conference soon. Not enough time to hang out with someone else. Not enough time to hang out with someone else. Get a feeling so complicated. Get a hangout so complicated. I love typos, dude. Oh shit, I hit fucking X. God damn it. Ugh, fuck. I walk back to the center of the room and look around. It appears that everyone is anxious and restless. It must have been a long night for them all, but Answer is so close, so we all hold out together. I scan the room a few times over. An eerie silence fills the area. I feel like perhaps I should break it. Ah! But before I can do anything, the large door is open. Someone walks out and exchanges glances with everyone. This must be Singe. Fucking Singe, stupid flip move. In the conference room entrance. Wait. Am I having a stroke or is that just a weird sentence? This must be Singe in the conference room entrance. Like Harry Potter in the Chamber of Secrets. Singe in the conference room entrance. It's supposed to be in instead of and? I'm gonna go with the Harry Potter. Reminds me, I was at a business doing business things, and they had some books on their bookshelf, and one of them was like Thomas Jefferson and the Ordeal of Liberty. So the entire time I was talking to people, I couldn't help but think that there's just a Thomas Jefferson Harry Potter ripoff. And there's just like a series of books like Thomas Jefferson and the Prisoner of the New World or some bullshit. Shit was hilarious. Thank you all for coming here today. Even though we've all had no sleep, I'm honored that you chose to be here. He bows to us much like Rocker. In a few minutes, the press will come. The doors will be unlocked for everyone. I'd be honored if you came in first. I'd like for all of us to be on stage. And I want us to appear united in this crisis. As a team, with nothing between us. We've endured a tragedy. We need to show the world our strength. We are a family, even in grief. Our public image is very important now. We must remain as resolute as possible. We can't have anything falter today. Please come and take your seats with me. We will begin as soon as the room fills up. He bows again and goes back into the conference hall. Not a moment later, we all start to follow him, unsure of what the conference has in store, and unsure of what shocking truths await the world. The morning after the tavern incident. What do you mean he's dead? I'm sorry, this is a lot to take in. Would you mind starting from the beginning? I haven't had my morning coffee just yet. My mind is cloudy, to say the least. You are not the only one who's taken aback. These events shocked me as well, my lord. I apologize for keeping my agenda hidden. You would have never endorsed my actions, even if they were for the greater good. But I had to take things into my own hands. I choked him to death. Of course, I still don't believe it. Endymion and Conrad are my trusted allies. I laughed at the notion of their betrayal. I'd never dedicate resources to that. Yet here we are, in the present. You have evidence backing your claim? Of course, I always validate my word. Last night I ventured to the tavern. Endymion and Conrad were there as well. But they've had someone with them. An immigrant from another world. One they will not be giving to you. In fact, they are bringing him to Velasquez. This directly violates your truce. Were they not to bring everyone to you? You're keeping tabs on this immigration. Yes, that was the plan, Riley. All of it should go through me. Easy to keep track of that way. Is there a chance you misheard things? Perhaps they used Velasquez as a cover, just in case anybody overheard. Impossible. They filed the paperwork. This immigrant is now fully sanctioned. They violated the truce, my lord. Indeed, that is irrefutable proof. It's impossible for me to work with that. This immigrant is now in the records. But I wonder, what does Velasquez want? Of all people, he wants an immigrant? They must be quite an important person. Of that I am unsure, but I feel like it's irrelevant. No explanation can excuse betrayal. And you know Velasquez's stance on that. He's too friendly to these off-worlders. I'm glad I was able to open your eyes. You're right, and I appreciate that. But now my curiosity is affecting me. Just who could this immigrant be? My two main allies would betray me, and the king wants to see them personally. There might be more here than meets the eye. Again, I'm not sure, but you could ask them yourself. I did what you would have wanted, my lord. I took action after seeing this betrayal. It's either that, or let them win. I paid this off-worlder a visit. One thing led to another, however, and they ended up passing out. It was unfortunate, of course, but an opportunity presented itself. I took them. They're in our prison, along with the other immigrants. What? Riley, how could you be so foolish? I can't believe what you're telling me. Do you realize what you've done? You abducted a legal immigrant? One that's wanted by the king? Velasquez will have us under scrutiny. You keep coming to me with revelations. First it was that Kalen worked for Righty, but then you go and do this to us? We'll have 2 assassins target us. We're under the pressure of a royal mission too, and everything was going good for once. I can't believe you would do this! Discretion was our greatest ally, Riley. 2 guilds will soon be upon us. Please, Lord Player, I can explain. There must have been a lapse in your judgment? Trust me, this is far worse than a lapse. If I didn't trust you, I'd almost think... Player stops in the middle of a sentence. At that point, he comes to a shocking realization. Oh. Sorry, Breadmaker went off. You wanted me to get caught. And scene. We all file into the conference room one by one. Everyone brings their sense of anxiety with them. It isn't long until we reach the stage area. It's lined with enough seats to fit us all. We stare onwards at the empty room before us. Soon it would be filled with those who seek answers, fans, press, and everybody in between. But there is a common goal among them, enlightenment. I sit far on the right side with Kill to my left. Then there's Acheron, Singe, Shock, and Rocker. A woman with long yellow hair is there as well. Inumi sits beside her with Rook to his left. Seems like everybody is here save for Jade. But when the door opened, people spill in. Sure enough, she's among the Preston citizens. I'm going to have to do like everybody's voice in rapid fire and I'm just going to cry. It seems like Acheron and Singe are getting along. They're lost in conversation amongst themselves. I would have started the conference long ago, but Singe is probably waiting for latecomers. After a while, he picks up his microphone. This thing on? It appears that every seat on stage has their own. Would I be expected to talk during this? The moment Singe speaks, the crowd becomes silent. I'd like to. He cuts himself off. There's an extreme feedback coming from the mic. Some in the audience cover their ears. I'd like to thank all of you for coming. I know it's early, but this has to be done. A longer wait means more restlessness, and that means filling in the blanks. I've called you here to be fully open. Something has hurt us profoundly. We'll carry it with us forever. It'll scar us for years to come, so please be respectful.
And cut the fucking feedback, Jeff.
There will be no flash photography today, or recording of any videos for that matter. However, audio recording is an exception. I understand some of you need notes, especially the members of the press, but this is as far as we can go. With that said, I'll now begin. I relay this news with a heavy heart. Last night, our own idol passed away. At midnight, Clace was murdered. The audience starts talking amongst themselves. Yeah, no shit, dude. Fucking gone. Why? I came all the way here just to be told the news I found out last night. I see several people scribbling down on notepads. The cause of death was asphyxiation, but it was under mysterious circumstances. It implies suicide, but that can't be true. Clace was not the type to do this, especially so close to the tour's launch. It's an impossibility. Please disregard it. With that said, I will take questions, but please remain considerate today. Remember, we are in a state of grief. Sin, sir. I have a question if you're willing. Fuck, Fukumoto, whatever. Feel free to ask whatever you like. You mentioned the method of death. Asphyxiation under mysterious circumstances. Exactly how is asphyxiation mysterious? A lack of oxygen is not mysterious. I'm afraid I'm a little confused. This guy's a fucking douche. The press in the audience starts nodding in agreement, as if this was the question on all their minds. You are correct, and I'm glad you asked. And I hope you ask the same to the police. They hastily branded these as suicides. Clace had markings around his neck. They imply the use of a noose. The use of a noose? But there is no noose at the scene. Well then, that is definitely odd. Thank you for answering my question. Fukumoto returns to his seat. I'm surprised he didn't twist any of Shinji's words. This is why the official ruling is odd. The lack of evidence is very suspicious, and it implies several possibilities. The body may have been moved post-mortem, or the culprit made off with the evidence. Both point to the same shocking truth. These were murders, plain and simple. The affected families deserve the truth. Why were our loved ones taken from us? And who committed these egregious crimes? I stand here today speaking for the many, those who lost their husbands, their wives, even their children and siblings. The police must reinvestigate this case. They cannot give up so easily, and they will have my full cooperation. There is one thing I want to accomplish. This case will be closed before we leave. We will return to America enlightened. No, you won't. And to that end, I will move on to the subject of our world tour, and precisely what will happen next. I am proud to announce we will continue. The world tour will go on as it was planned. The audience burst into conversation, and fucking asshole, telling us to be respectful, he's just gonna disrespect this guy like that? It seems they weren't expecting this announcement. We will do what Clace would have wanted. Instead of backing down, we persevere. Daz will head the tour in his place. She has graciously agreed to this burden. I cannot thank her enough. Surely it is a monumental undertaking. He motioned to the woman with yellow hair. Oh, interesting. So that's who she was. The launch will turn into a memorial, not just for Clace, but for everyone. Every person affected by these deaths. A series of his hits will be performed, but Daz will sing some new songs as well. Shock and Rocker will stay to help out. We as a family will honor the lost, as well as launch Daz's new career. Trust me, she is very talented. That was definitely a lot to take in. I guess they have a steady supply of idols. She must be talented to follow in Clace's shadow. I will open for questions one more time. Yeah, see? This will be my last question, Singe. But I'm asking this as a friend. Are you worried for the safety of Daz? And of the Lucky Two? What if this culprit strikes again? See? What precautions have you taken? Actually, I'm not worried about this at all. There is no evidence of us being targeted, but there is a little more to explain. In fact, I have one last announcement. I have full clearance to reveal this. Please do not assume I'm leaking any info. But have a seat while I continue. Fukumo, you fuck. Very well. Now, this information is known only to me. I haven't revealed it to anybody, not even those involved in the tour. Oh shit. What could it be? I notice Atron shifts uncomfortably in his seat. Looks like he's annoyed at hearing this. I'll be keeping everybody in here. I won't allow them to leave this building. But this is for a very specific reason. And it involves Armstrong Incorporated. Wait, he's keeping us in here? What does that to do with Armstrong? Atron's ears perk up, and he looks visibly angry. I know Maxine Armstrong piqued curiosity. Her arrival in Tokyo was quite mysterious. But today, we will reveal the truth. She gave me an offer when she arrived, and I wanted protection for everybody here, both by hired guards and technology. This is the sole reason she's in Tokyo. She offered us the best of her services. We are safe now, by so many means. It was all our doing. Unfortunately, we couldn't protect Clace. I feel somewhat at fault for his death. I caved in under some pressure. I initially had him on a tight leash. I didn't want him getting into trouble, but people said I was being too harsh. I decided to give him some freedom. And then, look what it caused. I should have stuck to my gut feeling. I remember hearing something about that yesterday. That Clace is being kept on a really tight leash. They said it was because the public was scared of him. Because the death started as soon as he arrived. I could see now that this was not the real reason. Singe was just trying to keep him safe from harm. I'm ashamed for not realizing that sooner. The explanations I heard earlier must have been lies. I don't think the public was scared of Clace at all. It seems that it was Singe who was scared all along. I apologize for getting off track there. But it was my answer to your question. That is why I'm not worrying anymore. This time, I will keep the leash tight. Nobody will be allowed to leave on my watch. We'll be under constant surveillance. Further harm will be impossible. Everybody will now be protected. This time I will stick to my instinct. I will trust in the guard I have hired, and I will trust in Armstrong Incorporated. Atron jumps out of his chair at hearing this. I can hear loud growls coming from his mouth. He is fuming, unable to contain his anger. He must have been holding this in for a while. Singe, are you insane? What? Singe is definitely surprised at this interjection. The audience is as well as they watch and pray. Explain yourself at once, Atron. Think about what you're saying. You want to keep everybody inside? After you've lined the place with weapons? You've turned us all into sitting ducks. Armstrong's weapons can be hacked. They're not as foolproof as you think. Real manpower can never be replicated. You can't be serious about this, Singe. Everybody important to Clace is in here. And now they're surrounded by weapons. How could you be so foolish? Atron pushes Singe back against the wall. He holds him in place by his white coat. But Singe remains calm and collected. The audience gasps and watches in awe. Of course, I read your psych evaluation. A seething hatred for Maxine Armstrong. I should have expected this outburst. Atron, I advise that you back down. You're not only compromising your position. If I fire you, then she wins, right? Compromise, you say? You're the one compromising everything. You just told the world how to kill us all. Hack some weapons, set them off. We all need to be evacuated immediately. Think logically, Atron. These weapons are extremely high-tech. They can't be hacked as easily as you think. This is the dumbest shit. This is some fucking hacker shit. This is some fucking NCIS, 2 people on 1 keyboard shit. They need authorization codes to set off. Only myself and Maxine know these codes. We both desire protection, Atron. I will only use them if we are in danger. You believe I didn't think this through? But I'm not as stupid as you think. I know exactly what I'm doing here. These weapons are a last resort, in case your expertise fell through. And it looks like it might be starting to. I suggest that you let go of me. Return to your seat immediately, Atron. You're only making a fool of yourself. You don't understand it like I do, Singe. Weapons can't keep people safe. People are supposed to keep each other safe. Yeah, remember the most important choice is if you want to go to a maid cafe and something you want to trade. And now we're in fucking like hell zone where like we're surrounded by guns and there's a fucking mad security dog. You seem to be very worried, Atron. You're scared of being an infinitely small thing. Or you're scared of an infinitely small thing. A thing with almost impossible chances. Why do you hate Armstrong so much? What did they take away from you? Atron releases his grip, but not calmly. He lets out a sharp growl in Singe's direction. Then he returns to his seat with a look of shame. Singe dusts off his lab coat that he wears casually with his hands, as if the altercation made him dirty. I am terribly sorry for that, folks. As you can see, we're all under duress. Part of why we said no photography. We're not ready for the spotlight just yet. I hope you can understand what I'm saying. Refrain from reporting that incident. The audience nods in compliance. Fukumoto shakes his head vehemently. But please, report everything else, including the involvement of Armstrong. We thought it was the right time to know. She is here to protect, not to harm. This building is armed and ready, but not all the weapons are lethal. We have non-lethal means as well, like pepper spray and kibble. So this place is far from a death trap. I will not use the lethal weapons. That is, unless my hand is forced. Dude's about to pop off. We are protected in many, many ways. And both myself and Maxine share goals. We want everybody inside to stay alive. Thank you all for coming. Please leave of your own accord. Singe bows to the audience and returns to his seat. They start to file out of the room. That was all a lot to take in. I don't really know how I should feel. I mean, am I a prisoner here now? Am I not allowed to leave? That's not really cool at all. And we're surrounded by weapons? That does make me feel a little uneasy. Was Singe certain they couldn't be hacked or set off? Atron has been extremely smart and knowledgeable. Was this outburst as incorrect as Singe led on? Or were we potentially all in a dangerous situation? I take a deep breath and try to relax. By the time I'm calm, the room is empty, save for those who are involved with the tour. After a few moments pass, Singe turns to me. This is the first time he's addressed me directly. Well, he tries to address Killa as well, but it seems like he's lost in thought again. I fucking swear, I should have gone to the main cafe, man. I know Penis didn't want to, but I could have just gone, and I bet Clace wouldn't have died. Well, that was a rather eventful conference. Never as short as a quality entertainment. He smiles at us, seeming a lot more calm, or perhaps it's like he's less professional. I guess he can relax a little after a speech like that. Being professional all the time would get tiring fast. I'm sorry about being like this. The circumstances are less than ideal. I was really looking forward to this. So, you're the leader then? The one in charge of all this? Ugh, voice crack. The one in charge of all this? I guess you could say that. But delegation is my expertise. It's why I have people like Rook and Jade. I could never do this all by myself. I'd cave under the pressure pretty quickly. Managerial duties are less than forgiving. I have to ask, why lock us up? Do you really think that's a good idea? At first I thought it was, but now I feel like it won't be easy. At least not while Atron's here. I'm just going to take this moment to point out some nice, some pretty cool parallels between Terra and Earth right now. Namely that they're both locked in both worlds. Killa is there. Atron seems a lot like Righty. Yeah. No way that could come to fruition. Are you going to get rid of him then? No, of course not. He's acclaimed the entire world over. There's no better candidate for this. Whether we agree with each other, though, it doesn't matter. He'll get the job done. He'd never risk his flawless resume of beating the shit out of people in college. But I'd love to talk more personally. Would you two stop by my office? It's better with less prying ears. We have much to discuss together. and I'm sure you have many questions.
I definitely do. Like, why couldn't I just gone to the maid cafe?
Not here, Killa. But I'll happily answer them in my office. For your reference, it's room 2A. 2A? Maid cafe? Coincidence? Killa nods and I do as well. It was definitely cool to be talking to the ringleader. I feel like he'd be able to answer all of our questions. There was more going on behind the scenes for sure. But I wonder, would he be sending us home, or would we just tour with Daz instead? He gives another smile before walking away.
Well, I guess I know where we're going, but I still have some stuff to think about. Meet me in front of 2A when you're ready.
Killa walks away and exits the room, muttering to himself about why he couldn't go to the fucking cafe. Everyone else must have left while we were talking, because now the room is completely empty. I wonder what's bothering him so much. He's taking an interesting turn in the last little bit. I think he said something about his past. He seemed uncool with getting involved in the media. Perhaps that's what he wanted to talk to Singe about. I stepped down from the stage and see someone there. I could have sworn the room was empty just a moment ago, but it's a familiar face, so I go on to greet them. It's Jade. I guess you never left the room.
Nice to see you again, Pants. I almost thought I'd never get back. The media sure loved our limo. They couldn't legally touch it though, so I just drove as slow as I could. Sure enough, they moved out of the way.
Yo, Jade just pulls like the fucking part 3 JoJo shit. Just pops down to the fucking sidewalk. Dio in the backseat.
It was easy to blend in after that. I came back pretending to be a civilian. It was a good conference considering. Except for Atron's outburst, of course. That seemed to startle everybody awake. It's been an early day to say the least. The Singe is very professional. He played it off in a good way. He has a way of influencing people, and that's something I find admirable. He's teaching me and I have a lot to learn.
Learning PR from Singe? Much better than learning humor from Rook. At least you'll get the right information.
Well, I don't really have much to say. Just wanted to talk about a couple things. I wanted to say thanks for your visit, as well as putting up with my theories. A lot of people would have just walked away. But Clace's death shook things up. I don't really believe in that anymore. I mean, let me put it this way. I tried to invalidate his death, Pants. I immediately came up with theories. You know, how could he still be alive? In my grief, I realized I was stupid. It sounded like a children's fantasy. How could I have ever believed that?
If only she knew the stuff I had been through. I actually find it kind of funny. Roles have reversed. She throws away this belief as I embrace it.
Tell me you didn't believe what I said. You were clearly just humoring me, right?
Alright, yay for I believed you, nay for I didn't believe you. Alright. I didn't believe you. Jade looks unhappy to hear this. Fuck you guys! I tell her I didn't believe her. It went against my experience with Terra, however. It isn't really my place to be saying this, but I wanted to keep on her good side for now.
Thank you. I needed to hear that, but I wasn't comfortable asking anyone else. That's part of why I stayed behind. Anyway, I guess I should get going. I guess you'll be staying here now. Better make yourself comfortable, Pants. But between the two of us, that's not such a bad thing. There's plenty of amenities. Like a maid cafe. I'll be in touch when I sort things out. It'd be nice to get to know each other more. And it seems we have the time on our hands. She slowly walks away, rummaging through her file.
I have to wonder, does she ever clock out? She's definitely the definition of married to work. Would you like to save your game? I would. Because it is late. Alright, rolling for true ending flags. Nope. No Atron affection. Woof. I've been playing for almost 6 hours and I have 1 affection. Holy fucking shit. Jade doesn't even have affection. Like, why should I care? Alright. I'm done. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for the follows. Thanks for the company. And I'll see you in the next one. Later, everyone.